Well, now we come to our testosterone alert. And this week, my choice is Ezra Levant. Now, Ezra Levant is a Sun News talk show host of The Source. He's also an author, a lawyer, and a political activist. Now, both Ezra and Mark Steyn have had to come before the Canadian Human Rights Commission on complaints with regards to Muslim jihadists and free speech issues. And also, Ezra is now dealing with the Canadian Broadcast Standards Council due to free speech issues again. I gotta say, I love Ezra. You know, he is just off the wall. But man, he will stand up for anybody who is having to deal with free speech issues. You know, he will go to bat for them as much as he possibly can. He's like the fearless warrior, you know, and watching his show and seeing him just shine when he does. And he pisses off so many on the left that have no clue that both sides have the right to say what they want. And you don't turn around and bully people to stifle free speech. And basically, all of the issues that Mark dealt with, Ezra's been dealing with, are people who are using human rights commissions and broadcast councils to bully people into not having their own free speech. You know, so for me, that's why I chose Ezra.
Well, we need more champions and more people who aren't afraid to stand up. And I remember hearing the story, you know, kind of tangentially when I heard about Mark Levin and all, not Mark Levin, gosh, Mark Steyn, sorry. Yeah. When I heard about Mark Steyn going through the same sort of thing over, you know, writings and whatever that he had done and speeches. And it's so chilling that people are saying, well, I'm not going to engage in that issue because there's some risk involved and I don't want a bad reputation. It's where people are actually chilling their own speech. They're actually taking themselves out of the marketplace of ideas because of the, you know, perceived consequences. And it is always refreshing, and it is always, you know, energizing to those of us who are still wanting to fight in these arenas, even though they might be uncomfortable, to see somebody like Ezra stand up and fight hard and fight with words, fight, you know, legally, whatever he could do, because that means there's still someone left to fight. And I admire that so much in him.
Oh, totally. You know, it's, you know, he's given people an opportunity to tell their side of the story when there's been issues, whether it's free speech or the right to conduct your business how you see fit, especially when you're not doing anything wrong and you get the bureaucrats coming in and making life absolutely miserable. You know, he's awesome. That's all I can say.
He's for the oil sands. He's for, you know, calling out people like George Soros. I mean, what's not to love?
Oh, I know. You know, and you know, he's definitely not going to champion you if you're whining, complaining because your feelings got hurt. It's like, suck it up and grow up. You know, I've seen some of the complaints that people have made on Ezra, and they are so childish. It's ridiculous. You know, they will try to go after Ezra, and basically Ezra just chews them up and spits them out because they have no legs to stand on with the complaints they make against him.
You know, that brings up, what kind of a culture are we in the West now? That, and I mean the West in the you know, the broad sense, Western Europe and North America. What kind of culture are we that we're afraid to talk about things, that we get squeamish when somebody points out an inconvenient truth? And I don't mean an Al Gore movie. No. You know, but a true inconvenient truth, something that makes people feel squidgy and uncomfortable talking about, but it's a necessary thing. You know, and I say that as somebody who, you know, really doesn't often like to look at really hard stuff that's difficult, but what kind of people are we that we can't do that anymore? These are people who settled the West, who raced across countries to and deprived of almost every comfort possible, and made a country, and made another country right on top of it with that kind of explorer spirit. And this is what we do now. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings.
Well, it's things have changed on the tactics that the left uses to censor free speech, and that's basically what they do, and that's what Ezra's fighting. Because, there's threats made on Ezra. There's verbal threats made on Ezra. He just decided enough is enough. He is not letting anybody bully him into shutting up. He has the right to free speech just like everybody else. And when it comes to free speech, you got to take the good with the bad. And, I think a lot of people are scared because their livelihoods could be affected if they open up and say what they really want to say, even though they have the right to say it. The left have sunk to a despicable level where people are scared to say anything because they don't know, am I going to get beaten up? Am I going to lose my job? So we have, our free speech warriors like Ezra doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen.